I installed this off-grid air conditioner instead of replacing my broken rooftop AC. I made one mistake with this that I initially thought was a good idea, but I thought I would share with you the whole experience from the good, the bad, and the annoying so that you could see if this is a good idea for you. Hello, Nick here, and as a quick recap, the camper that I'm in right now has been nothing short of a lemon, hence its nickname Lemonade. But I'm super determined to make this into a really sweet camper so that we can use not just for our family trips, but when we're out on the road for Insti Connect as well. Now, as I'm thinking about that perfect camper, one of the things on my wish list is an air conditioner that I can basically use anytime and anywhere, regardless of if we have hookups or even sunlight. Now, I know that's a tall order, but one that I think is doable in my opinion. Now, this camper has three 13K air conditioners on top, and one of the things that I like about this camper is that each one of the living areas isn't too large, so it's pretty easy to heat and cool those areas. Now, when I realized that the front living area on our fifth wheel wasn't very big, my first thought was to use one of those vans or truck type low voltage AC compressor air conditioners to see if I could find a unit that doesn't take a lot of wattage when it runs. Now, this is the compressor here, and that takes most of the power, and this right here is the air handler that hardly uses any power, and all it does is really just circulate the air through the cooling fins. Now, my goal was to find the compressor that took the least amount of power possible, and as a reference, the power draw on like a normal rooftop air conditioner can be anywhere from like 1,000 to 1,500 watts, depending on the size of the unit and how hot it is outside. Now, using 1,500 watts as my baseline, I put together a 15,000 watt lithium battery so that I could plan on getting roughly 10 hours of power on that amount of draw. Now, I made a video on how I put that together, which is right here, and this is still a very good way to build a battery, and it makes it a lot cheaper than just purchasing them outright. Now, after doing some research, I took a chance on this unit right here. Now, I bought it on Amazon. It was around 800 bucks or so when I bought it. Earlier this spring, I set out to install it. Now, some of the hardest parts of the install is based around the fact that the air handler unit has a specific link. This is the line set that goes from the compressor to the air handler, and I believe mine is about 12 feet or so. And so the hardest part is finding a spot where you can put the air handler and then have the compressor be just 12 feet away, right behind the compartment in the front of the fifth wheel, so it could kind of protect it back there and not get hit by stuff as we went down the road, and still be close enough to be able to hook up to your battery so you can get the amount of power to it that you need to. Okay, so outside is where the compressor is, and let me roll out my RV rug so that we can take a look here. Now, if you're wondering what this metal pole is all about, be sure to subscribe, because I got a cool video on what this RV rug is all about, right? Think automatic RV rug. Come over here, let's take a look at the compressor. I actually have it mounted in a way that's different from what they tell you to do. This is supposed to be mounted vertically, just like on the back of a big rig right behind the cab. It's supposed to be up and down like this. Now, I installed it flat like this because in the instructions, it told me that it was okay to basically install it like this. So I carefully read through the instructions as well as I possibly could, because to be honest, the instructions weren't very good. They were in kind of broken English, as a lot of things are like this. It's really supposed to be installed vertically like that. So right now you can see that it's kind of at an angle, and I'll talk about that in just a second, but originally I had it very flat like this. So from there I followed the instructions, charged it with the Freon, but then I ran into a problem where it wasn't cooling, and I found out that the coolant actually sits in the compressor in a way that if you don't have it mounted vertically like this, it might not grab the oil and might not have it cool at all. So originally, while I had it all charged up and everything, while I had it working, the first time that I moved it around, I went to turn it on and it just wouldn't work. Now, I was able to do a workaround, and I'll talk about that in a second, but just because of this, I can't really recommend that you would do the very same thing, just because it's been kind of finicky the way that I have it. But the way that I made it kind of work is that you can see now that I have it at a slant. So I was able to like kind of turn it up this way, but then even the compressor itself, I was able to rotate that inside the housing so it's a lot closer to where it's supposed to be. So imagine this kind of turned down here like this much more. I was able to turn it up and make the Freon catch a lot more than it does. So at this point, you're probably asking why I decided to put it down here even in the first place when I could have just got one of those rooftop mounted ones, place it up on the roof and called it good. Now the reason that I wanted to do this is because I wanted to get the most efficiency from this unit as possible. Now if you remember when I was talking about how much wattage the air conditioner up there uses, it depends a lot on how hot it is outside. So if it's really hot, it's going to use that 1500 watts because it needs to work hard to dissipate that heat that it's pulling out of the room. Now if I could put this here underneath where it's naturally cool, I thought I can make this even more efficient by doing that. So if you ask me, the idea behind this is really great. And if this unit was able to be installed like this, I think it would be the perfect off-grid air conditioner to use in just about any camper. And because of this, when this system is running full bore, it's only using about 800 watts on a really, really hot day. Then on those other days where it's just nice to cool the room, it runs between 500 to 600 watts, just kind of running, cycling and everything. Now the coolest part of this is that when it gets to temperature in the room, when the compressor kicks off, that air handler unit only takes about 22 to 25 watts to run the fan. So one of the things I like the most about this system is that I could keep that air handler running all night and it'll be the same constant sound running all night and not wake us up. Now while that's really nice, there is a thing about the sound that kind of drives me nuts, and I'll talk about that here just in a second. So the idea behind this is really good, and this has allowed us to use the air conditioner in places that I couldn't imagine. And if you think about, like, let's say on a nice kind of warm night, and maybe it's using 500 watts or so, on a 15,000 kilowatt battery, it'll run that 500 watts of load for roughly 30 hours. So that is a long, long time compared to like roughly 10 hours of running the air conditioning units up on the roof. So what are some of the bummers? Well, I'll start with the one that the kids will say right off the bat is that, hey, mom and dad, you have a cool room. Our room is in the back and we're super hot. Well, you know, that's kind of a thing, but it's kind of a nice way to remind them of how we grew up when we were kids in the 80s, where like central air just wasn't a thing, right? We kind of had to sweat it out, so they'll have to as well. Now, one of the things I'm thinking about is maybe installing it in their room as well, and we'll talk about that a little bit later too. I have some ideas on what I'm going to do with that. So as it sits now, the system works pretty well, but there are some moments where it just doesn't seem to want to cool for some reason. So the fix for that is for me to just shut the system off, let it sit for about a minute, and then turn it back on, and that seems to do the trick. Now, I don't know if it's doing that because of the way I have it installed. Maybe it's not getting the gas like it's supposed to, or if it's just one of those things that like the quirky, more Chinese stuff does, right? Okay, so what are the downsides of doing something like this? Now, I can think of one really big one, and let's go back in the room and let me explain. So I would say the sound that this thing makes is probably the biggest downside. So this plastic and everything does seem to be a little bit cheaper, and I bet the motor installed inside here isn't very expensive. So it makes this kind of sound when it's running. All right, so the final project for this is mounting it to the wall. Okay, so the reason you can't hear it right now is because I've done something to fix it, and I'll show you that in just a second. But when I would turn this on, it would make this kind of high-pitched sound that I didn't really notice at first until we tried to sleep with it in here. This was causing us to not sleep very well. So what I'm gonna show you here is what I tried to do to remedy this. And as I'm showing you this, let me know in the comments if that sound would have bothered you or not. Knowing that this saves you a bunch of power on your AC, will that kind of whistling sound keep you from sleeping? Because I'm thinking maybe it's something that maybe it just bothers the adults because the kids didn't really seem to be bothered by it. So let me know down there. But I installed this voltage regulator right here, and so what this does is actually takes whatever power that's going into the fan and it drops it down. Can't remember how many volts I'm actually dropping it down, but I'm dropping it at the low setting about 5 volts down so that it really slows the motor down so that it doesn't make such a high-pitched sound. And so that's really, really helped, and it made it so it's like we can sleep through the night with this thing and not even bother. It actually has the perfect amount of sound to be able to sleep. But one of the bummers of it is that this regulator will put it down to that voltage regardless of what the incoming voltage is. So for instance, if I have the fan set on 1, then it'll be that sound. But if I set the fan speed to like 6, it doesn't really matter because it's going to run it at that same very low speed. So if it's like a really hot day and I want to crank that fan up, I just can't do it because that voltage regulator is dropping it all the way down to a good sound. So that's kind of a bummer, but it does end up working still. We just have to make sure this thing is on and running long enough if it's a really hot day. And the nice thing about it is that we can kick this on even while we drive. Hardly uses any power at all, so that when we get somewhere, if it's a really hot day, it's nice and cool right inside our room already. So if you have any ideas on how I can efficiently drop this down, like let's say about 5 volts, it's a 24 volt motor. If you know of a way that I can drop it down 5 volts, let me know in the comments below, and I'll try that out and see if that'll help. And maybe if we end up doing one in the kids' room, we can get that set up so that it's nice and we'll be able to turn it up a little higher or lower depending on what we need. Okay, so overall, I would definitely recommend doing something like this, where you replace your rooftop air conditioner with something a lot more efficient and something that you could use off of batteries. Now, that is something that I haven't mentioned yet as well. This thing requires 24 volts. You can get a 12 volt version and wire it into, like, let's say your house battery, but I would not recommend that just because of the amount of wattage that it pulls regularly. You would only be able to use it for a fraction of the time on a small battery. So you would only want to install this if you have like a larger lithium battery set where you can pull from. So that when we're somewhere and we're not plugged in, it just pulls from the batteries. But if we're somewhere and we are plugged in, our inverter charger is putting plenty of power into those batteries to run this. So it's not a big deal. But if you don't have like a lithium battery set or even like a bigger deep cell battery set, you won't want to do this because this needs to pull direct from the batteries. Okay guys, quick update. I'm going through this video and editing and everything, and I have realized that I forgot some pretty key points on this, and I wanted to explain it. So right here, I'm in the video where I'm describing how I kind of tweaked it and tilted it a little bit so that it would catch. One thing that I forgot to explain in there is that they do sell the compressor units to where they're not in a cage like that. So you can actually buy the compressor and the fan and install it any way you want to. And that is probably the way that I would recommend doing something like this. So you can maybe put it on a board, install it any way that you would really like to. And if I were to do this again, I would probably buy them all in different pieces so that I could put the compressor one place, put the fan and the radiator in another spot, maybe make my own cage, but that way I can have the compressor mounted the way that I would like to. When I do the one in the kids' room, if I decide to put it under the belly, that will probably be the way that I do it. If I decide to put it up on the top, then I don't know. Maybe I'll make a wood platform or something like that. But, you know, stay tuned to that. I don't really know exactly how I'm going to pull that one off, but I'm still thinking about it. Now, one thing that I didn't mention in the video as well is how well it cools. When it cools, it does cool very well. And the fact that I had turned down the fan so where it makes a nice noise all throughout the night, even with the fact that it's not moving that much air, it still cools it very, very well. So even on the hottest days, that room stays nice and cool. So I'm very impressed with the cooling capacity of this unit. And I don't know if that's because I have the compressor in a spot underneath where it really doesn't have to work that hard, but the way that I have it installed, I'm very, very pleased with how it's working. Now, last but not least, this is definitely not a step-by-step on how to do an air conditioner like this. I have shot all the footage of when I was walking through it. So if that's something that you would like to see, like, Nick, can you just take us through the process? It might be kind of boring, might be kind of long, but I'd be glad to put that together for you if you're interested. So if you are, drop in the comments below, hey, Nick, I'd like to see the kind of the step-by-step that you did with this. Knowing that some of the problems that I ran into, I might not have video on that per se, but knowing this, we can maybe have that install video put up on the channel. Let me know below in the comments if that's something that you'd like to see. Anyway, thanks. Let's get back to the video. Now, if you're interested in looking at this specific model right here, I'm going to put a link in the comments below. I'm going to pin the comment with all the links in it right down there so you can check out this one that I got on Amazon. I'm pretty sure it's still available at the time of making this video.
What?
Hey, look who's here. Luke's there.
Everybody's favorite guy.
So in the end, it's a really great upgrade for the RV. And oh, I even forgot one of the nice things that it did. Come over here and check this out. One of the cool things that it allowed for us is to open up the hole where the air conditioner usually sits so we can put a vent fan in there. I got this one on Amazon. It's, I can't remember how much exactly I spent, but I think it was less than $100. And it's one of those big vent fans. Let me show you here. one of those big ones, and it has a remote, so we can be just laying in bed, click it, it opens it up, it has a rain sensor and all of that stuff. So a really cool unit, and we actually use this a lot more than we use the air conditioner on those nice cool nights, right? So I definitely recommend getting rid of that air conditioner, putting a vent fan in there so that you can use that all the time, and then use this when you need to. So I hope this helped. If you have any questions on this, drop them in the comments below. I'll do my best to help any way that I possibly can. And then stay tuned. I am definitely thinking about putting one in the back room there. Now let me know in the comments below, would you do that, or would you just let them sweat it out regardless of where they are? Now, one thing that I do think will really help back there is removing that air conditioner and putting a vent fan up there to really get the air circulating. Now, next on our docket is the Quartzsite RV show in just a couple weeks. So be sure to tune into our socials like Facebook and Instagram for closer to live updates. We're going to try to put together like a meetup of some sorts. We're still working out some of the details on where it's going to be. I'm hoping to have in a spot or two, but I need to get permission to do that. But anyway, stay tuned to like Facebook, Instagram. The links for that should be down below where you can just jump on there and then follow us there. We'll try to get some more information out to you. We have a sweet new outdoor booth that's coming that I'm really excited to show you all about. That hopefully it's going to be perfect, and we're going to have a lot of fun at Quartzsite this year. Till next time, have fun exploring, and we will see you out there. Thanks.